All right, y'all, what's up? This is James from the Free Project. I'm gonna tell you, it's a shame when after X amount of years, people can't hang in there, regardless of what the circumstances are. And the published quotation is that your reasoning is because you want to live a best life. This is James from the Free Project. I'm telling you, know what I'm talking about. I'm talking about that darn KPrice. Really, Kelly? If this story is true, but it looks like it's all over the blogs and everything and all that kind of stuff. So, my thing is this, y'all. Here it is, and I'm just going to make this quick and I'm going to make it simple because the truth of the matter is after 23 years and you telling people now that you want to get a divorce because you want to be happy and live your best life and you want to have this ultimate satisfaction or whatever. I don't know, all that new age BS, Joel Osteen foolishness, Wendy Williams, all of that mess is coming into play in these Christian marriages, and so I don't get it. I really don't get it. I think what's happening is that, number one, a lot of women are starting to devalue marriage. A lot of people in this new generation are devaluing marriage, but it seems like a lot of women are devaluing marriage because it seems to me that now women are doing what the guys used to do, and now they're doing the creeping and the crawling and going out and cutting the fool and leaving their marriages and their families, their children, for the sake of this fulfilling life and being all this and trying to get my goals and make my papers and all that kind of stuff. You know what? Let me tell you something. I'm just going to go in and just go ahead and dig right on. And because here's the deal. If you stood before God, and if that was the man or woman, and I'm talking man to women, but if that was the man that God has placed you to be with, and for such reasons as I mentioned what KPrice was talking about, you're being selfish and you are out of order. That's just you can't dance around that. You're being selfish and out of order, and you've allowed a spirit of the world and of this feminist movement to get into your heart, into your spirit, and have you to believe and feel like, well, you are dissatisfied and you're unsatisfied, you're unfulfilled, so therefore I need to go out and make it myself. Let me tell you something. Marriage was not created to make you happy. After that wedding day, after all the balloons are popped and the cake is eaten and the dress has been put back in the closet, let me tell you something, real life begins. Because see, that's just a fantasy that you have for one day and then 5 or 7 days after on the honeymoon. But after that, real life begins. Children, jobs, mortgages, bills, loss of job, loss of houses, sickness, all kinds of stuff, family problems, your in-laws getting on your nerves, all that kind of real stuff comes into play. She doesn't do this, he doesn't do that. They leave their clothes sitting around and all that kind of stuff. Let me tell you something. You got to get past all that pettiness and selfishness and start dealing with you. That's what needs to happen. You got to deal with you. And sometimes, and you know what? Sometimes you got to stop and say, God, what are you trying to teach me in this situation? Okay, maybe I don't like what my wife is doing. Maybe I don't like what my husband is doing. But what are you trying to teach me? Instead of me trying to change them, God, you change me to understand them better. Because see, that's what it comes down to. You can't sit there and try to change somebody else and hoping they will conform to this ideal image that you had prior to being married. And so now you get into the reality of life and it's not what you thought it was going to be. So you got to get past yourself, get past all of this, these crazy expectations, and get all these darn stupid reality shows. You got all these empowered, quote unquote, women on these reality shows, and they're using men like for sperm banks and all that kind of stuff. Get off these crazy reality shows that has the 5 women and all that kind of stuff. I mean, I find it quite interesting that most of them, when you're dealing with the shows with black women, most of them aren't married. Whereas you're dealing with Real Housewives of Orange County, New York, and all that kind of stuff, most of them are married. But anyway, that's a whole nother topic. But yeah, so get off these reality shows that's got these women on here talking about self-empowerment and starting your own business and doing all that. I'm all for someone, if God has given you a gift or a talent and you stand on that and you make it work and you bring in your paper, that's fine. That's absolutely fine. No one is saying that that you need to sit back and wait for a man and you just sit on the gifts and talents that God gave you. But what I am saying is this: you two can work together at building those goals. You two can work together. You don't mean you walk away because you're trying to build your kingdom to yourself. That's what it is, self. Building the kingdom to yourself. That's all that foolishness is. And I'm telling you, again, once the wedding is over, real life begins. And you've got to get past this. I mean, how can you throw away X amount of years with someone, but, you know, those years earlier, you're talking about, oh, God brought you in my life. Oh, God made you for me. You a cut brother, same cloth. I'm telling you, my best friend. And now after you done found out all the ugly of that person, excuse me, in terms of how they really live, how it feels to live with that person now you don't know what to do other than leave and just throw all that away. I really don't get that. So I'm here to tell you, before you get married, just understand that marriage is not a healing balm. It's not a healing balm. Okay, if God has brought you two together, He's brought you two together for a purpose, and you are to find out what that purpose is as a unit, and help build each other up in your personal goals and a corporate goal as a family. That's what you're to do. All this tearing down and I don't like you and you ain't making me happy and all this kind of foolishness, and I need to go live my best life now. I'm telling y'all, better get out these crazy churches that's talking all this self-love and self this and self that, and God's gonna do all this for you and God's gonna turn you around and gonna build you up. No, God said build up the kingdom, establish the kingdom, His kingdom, not yours. Get over yourselves. Anyway, this is James from the I'm Free Project. I'm telling you, I'm gonna keep it real because I'm so tired of people being so selfish in relationships. Yeah, I mean, every day me and my wife, it hasn't been perfect, but I love that woman and I'm not going anywhere. When I said death do us part, until one of us drop dead, I mean, it's just gonna be me and her. She's gonna have to deal with me until then. You know, I mean, she looked up. I'm just saying. No, just kidding. Now I looked up, and the thing is, y'all, life is beautiful, and you don't just go through life. You make life with that person. You make it, the good and the bad and the ugly. You make life with that person. That's what you do. It's not going to be rosy all day long. God has put marriages together for a purpose. Man and woman, not two men. To a homogenous relationship. What in the world? That's crazy. Or two women, that's foolishness. Trying to find yourself in somebody. Anyway, I'm not going to get into all that. Y'all know where I stand. Anyway, all right, this is James from the I'm Free Project. That's 7 minutes and 30 seconds. Bam, I'm out. Peace.